Hey all, Hertz here. Welcome back to episode 21 of The Last Railbook. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode because it's the last episode. What I'm going to do is I recorded a few like check-in videos of showing off different concepts uh, in, in the entire railbook and the Megabase-in-a-Book, uh, different factories. And so I'm going to just play these check-in videos. And then after all of that, I'm going to go ahead and do a base review so we can see the entire base. And I'm going to show off how many of each of the different mega base factories that you need to create the whole system to run 100K or 10K science per minute. Now, if you look up in the upper right hand corner, you can see my UPS, and it's running at about 42 or 43 right now. There is not science running. If I run science at 10K science per minute, that goes down to about 15, which makes it almost like watching a slideshow. So what I've kind of done is I've disconnected some of the science of the labs. And so the system can run at about 25 UPS or so, doing about 8K science per minute. Um, so this build is not super optimized for UPS. That was not a consideration when I was making the book. The main consideration of the book was to make a very easy way of creating a megabase that can do an appreciable amount of science per minute. Um, so let's jump to some of the clips. Hale, this is a little quick add-on tip. I'm going to show you what happens here when I lay down plastic. This is all run by coal liquefaction, and I'm going to show you. There are the couple of 1-1 trains that are en route. I just um, I just filled out the path so that this can come here. Now we're seeing the coal train come in. There should be a liquids train coming in. And here's the heavy oil train coming in. This is kind of what I wanted to show. We also need the robots train because none of this will do anything without the robots. Um, it just quickly dumps off 5. I forget what the exact circuit condition is, but you only need about 4 or 5 of these heavy oil barrels uh, to get the process started. Let's see, coal still coming in. Still waiting on the bots. I'm not sure what's going on with those. Put the hub down, and this takes in, I think, 4,000 bots. So I think what's going on is all the bots are going up here. Uh, eh, okay, here he is. I think that's him. So he's going to dump off the couple of bots, and they're going to start working on. This one is bringing in the first barrel. It might take a couple of barrels. This actually go. There it goes. It kicked off. Okay, so this brings in a barrel. It goes to the barrel unloader here. and then it just dumps there are 5 barrels right there. I just leave them in this chest. There's no reason to recover them. It's, what, 5 steel? Who cares? It's gonna go in that chest and it's gonna stay in that chest forever. Um, but that's enough to kick off heavy oil. And as long as there's 2k heavy oil in here, it's gonna like push over and start pumping in, or maybe is it more than 2k? What's going on here? Oh, it did kick off. Okay, it already kicked off and it's starting to push, it's pushing the oil, the heavy oil down this line. So as I say, it only takes a couple and then the whole thing springs to life fairly quickly. And now we're making full-on plastic up here. And those couple of bots, I think there are a total of 5 bots in the logistics network. They're just going to fill up all the refueling, the nuclear fuel. They have like very, very light jobs. That's why there are only 5 of them here. The guy's going to just make sure there's enough fuel. It's when the station first opens, it uses quite a bit of fuel because it's got to put up, like there's 3 in each of these requester chests down here. So that's 12 in this line, 12 in that line, and then another 12 up here. So that's 36 fuel, plus any fuel that the trains take, plus it's trying to keep, I think it's 10 in this chest. It dumps off as quickly as possible into this chest for a bit of a reserve, and then it slowly puts it into this chest with just a slow inserter. That's done on purpose. Like, you don't need to upgrade that. That's done on purpose so that there's like a buffer going into here. So now there are 24, or I don't know, 20 fuel in here, and it won't really have to call for fuel again until like the trains that come to this station use it. So that's pretty much how a station that uses heavy oil starts off. Any of the stations that use coal liquefaction. I think it's just plastic. There might be, uh, I think, yeah, rocket fuel uses coal liquefaction. Um, I think that's it. Yep. So it's rocket fuel and plastic are the two that use that. So anyway, just a short little addendum clip there, so you can all see how this works. Thanks. This is going to be a little snippet here. I'm coming up onto the uranium processing. You'll see it's running up here. I set up a mining outpost for uranium ore. And it's coming, it's dropped off its payload, and it's got all these guys going and refining the ore. Now you'll notice on this side is where the Covarics process starts. So we have, let's see, there's 10 in here, 15 in here, 7 in here, and 9 in here. So we're almost at the point where if we take all those uranium-235s and shove them into one of these, and the first one to do it with is this one right here, we're going to work from the right to the left. The way that all these belts, there's some complicated belt work going on, but it's all belt driven. It sets up the priority so that if this row of items overflows with uranium-235, it puts it into this row, and then if this one overflows, it puts it into this row, and so on. And if this one overflows, it puts it out to the train up here. Uh, this one is the uranium-235 train. It's just a 1-1 train. And there's a 1-1 train for uranium-238 as well. So, but since, let's see, since we have been processing uranium for fuel down here in our intermediate base for so long, I mean, I've already got a bunch of 235, and this is just a little stash just so I don't accidentally use all of it. Like, the idea is never take never take the uranium out of this chest unless you mess up. Um, so if you look, I just shoved my pockets full of uranium-235. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm just going to place it in each of these guys. As many as I can. Still have more, wow. Okay. So now all these are running the Covarics process. The problem is we don't have any uranium-238 right now. So that's going to go out in a second and go get more uranium ore. Where are we at on that? We're still a bit away. So I'm going to just come up here. It's already deposited some okay. It's already put some up here. Problem is the numbers that it uses are a lot higher. Well, that should last for quite a while. So I'm just going to do that there. I'm going to fill these up as well. Now, you don't have to do this. Maybe the first time you need to gather the 235 out of the first one or two of these centrifuges and just put them all into this one on the end here. But after you do that once, it should kick off the whole process, and over time it will fill all of these. So this will keep it going for a minute. Hopefully it'll keep it going long enough for this train to fill up again. So let's look again. I only have one uranium ore station because you don't really need that much of it. So that's still going to take a minute. So anyways, I just wanted to chime in and show off this process and what you need to do to accelerate it. Okay, we're just going to do a little snippet here. I'm going to show off the mall, or the hub, or whatever you want to call it. So there is a train station for, so we're seeing copper plates, green circuits, red circuits, blue circuits, uranium-238, uranium-235. There's blue circuits. Oh, sulfur, batteries, and then modules and lube. Now up here is the kind of like make everything, right? And then there's this whole section for building solar. So use that for solar, and then this will also make the satellites. There will be a train, a 1-1 train that's just for satellites that I'll put right here. And that will just bring satellites up to the area where we're doing the space science. But you'll notice I'm actually using an active provider chest on these. It's kind of rare that you use these. You have to know what you're doing. You can cause some real problems if you don't know what you're doing while using these. But you'll see, so this block of 4 chests right here, that right there, are for the copper plate. And so you can see your stock keeping levels for like each of the items. So this is for green circuit. So you can see like the stock level. Here's the red circuit, here's the sulfur, uranium-238, uranium-235, blue circuits, batteries, and the modules. And then you can see the stack of these here. And then these stations, they're connected to the logistics network. Um, and it just says if there's less than 16K, open up the station. So the station, if you look at it here in map mode, the station is red, so that means the station is disabled. The stations that are open are in the white or blue. I think white means it's open and there's no one coming to the station, and blue means it's open and someone is heading to the station. So then there's, also all these items down here. And they have this similar thing. You can just see their stack keeping levels right here. Now, if it overflows, there's this big wad of chests right here. I don't know how so much ore got stuck in here. That shouldn't happen. It was something to do with right at the very beginning. I had ore in my inventory because I picked something up and moved it, and so there was a bunch of ore in my inventory, and then it just got dumped out here. But then so with the kind of make everything here, if you look on the sides here, I'm just gonna walk over. So this is for this row, right? So L just means, do you want the lights on or off? So if I turn that to 0, it'll turn the lights off. I mean, that's just a little feature. But then this is for this row. How many of the items do you want in there? You have to put in a negative number because then these output inserters just say if this is 0, right? So if you put in a -100, it will keep on making those until there's 100 in the inventory, and it just says, okay, if you're 0, or if you're less than 0, keep on making items, and all of you are turned on. So like for each row, you'll see I have like the stack keeping levels of all the items in here. So at any point, if I want to change how many rail this keeps in inventory up here, I can just switch this number. So it makes it very easy to adjust this. Instead of having to go in and change the insider of each of these, it just says, what item am I making, and is the count of that less than 0? So that makes this very easy to manage. There's just like one spot when you say, oh, I need to keep more stock of substations. I can just walk over here and do it, and it kind of controls it for everything. Over here on this side, it's not every row. This is for all of these. All of these are connected together for all the solar panels. So I just have it keeping 12K. And then for accumulators, I have the same thing. And then for these, it's just keeping 50 at a time, because that's these only stack at 1. So that's enough to fill up a whole cargo wagon, since the cargo wagon for satellites is a 1-1. I'm going to switch this to 1,1 satellite. Where's satellites? There it is, satellite. Producer. Hold down Alt and then press 26 and release Alt. And there you go. So I'll set up the smarts for that in a minute. And then I'll also put down the 1-1 train for that. It's not needed yet because I don't have any of the science hooked up. So anyway, I just wanted to quickly show off how the hub works. and how easy it is to configure it to keep stack keeping levels of the things that you want. Okay, thanks. Okay, quick snippet here. You can see I've removed most of these grid squares, kind of look like this. I've removed this here because we've got a problem with both the yellow and the blue science. So they are a little bit bigger than other ones. So you'll see this one is too larger. So the top needs to go there. So it's got to go up 1, 2. And then, I'm sorry. And blue is also, that won't fit right up. With these, you've got to, you only connect to the end of the rail. Like this, that overlap looks like you can do it. You cannot do that. You have to connect end to end. So this one is one too big for this grid square thing. So we're going to have to adjust the rail a little bit to conform to that. So real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these two. So this is the 4-lane block shift up. Since it's got to go up 2, I'm going to put one there and one there. Then this is, the yellow ones are my, my rail Spidertrons. So I'm going to have those go through, fill that out. I think this is going to, I'm going to just move the white Spidertron to where it needs to hook up. So that needs to go over further, about there. So does that chunk. So I'm going to zoom into this, and I'm going to put the connector here for it right there. And then it's just as easy as putting in the straight pieces to connect these. And if we go back to place this in, everything hooks up perfectly right there. And then for the blue, that needs to go down 1. So I'm going to move, once again, the white Spidertron over and place the connector. I think it's right about there. So it is in this chunk where the Spidertron is. So let's put the connector right there. And we will see that blue fits right and connects perfectly there. So now the only thing left to do is to go back to the rail book and do the shift down. Let's shift up. It's going to shift down. I'm going to march the Spidertrons over here. I'm going to do a straight piece. Let's do a crossover there, and then straight, straight. This is going to do another shift down. There. Do the crossover and the straight pieces, and now you'll see we fixed the rail over here so that blue fits perfectly and yellow fits perfectly. And you'll see over here, I've got that actually up and running. Um, so I did the same thing. It doesn't look exactly the same, but the rail just kind of like bends around to fit. Um, you can either do this or you can make a grid square that is larger, that is like two larger, and just use those for the science. I think science are the only things that are larger than normal. Well, science and the hub down here is one larger than the grid square. But all the rest of the blueprints fit into normal grid squares. I think um, I also did fix purple. No, purple doesn't fit either. Uh, well, let's see. But all the rest of the builds all fit exactly in these grid squares. This is an exception because you can only have two of them in here because it's so wide. So there and there, you can't have three because they'll crash into each other. And then I think every single other one of these fits. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the sciences that are a little bit wonky. So that's really it. That's how you kind of like redirect your rail to go up and around different little bits. So, okay, thanks. Okay, quick update. As you can see here, we've got our space science going. We've got all of the pieces required to get all this going here. I'm just gonna let these go real quick. Now, another thing that I want to kind of point out here is that so we've got the space science, military science. We've got at least one of these. A lot of these different sciences need two. So like yellow science needs two, blue science needs two, purple science needs two, um, and military needs two. Um, the other thing I want to kind of point out here is our science labs up here. It looks a lot like the hub. As you can see, we just have like a bank of. I mean, these all have active provider chests, and then they all go in. There's a bank of a 4x4 of these storage chests that are all right above whatever station they have. So you can see the stack keeping levels. We don't have any research active right now, but soon enough we'll get these all filled up and like starting to go, and then I'll just start doing research. Um, but of course, space science is the weird one that has these stacked to 1,000. Like all the other, no, they stacked to 2,000, I believe. So all the other sciences stacked to 200 except for this one, which I think is also kind of crazy. Another thing that I think is a little bit silly about the game. So it makes uh, like your balancing gets all messed up because of this. So a train of space science is like something like, I don't know, over 1 million science packs. Um, 3072 times 2000. Oh no, it's 6 million. 6 million science packs is one of these trains. I could just do 1-1 trains, taking that over. Maybe I will do that in the future, uh, because this just seems kind of bizarre. But anyway, this is set up. These have if you can see right there, it's the research speed is 23.45. times the normal research speed, and then it's a 20% productivity. So there's 60 times 23.45 times 1.2. So that means every minute one of these stations can do 1688 science. So we need, I think it's just over 6 of these stations to do all of the science, to do 100 or 10K science per minute. So I'm gonna like this whole base is set up for that. I've got like little marks for everything. So I'm just gonna continue to build these out. I'm trying to build out a little bit more iron, and I'm gonna build out a little bit more copper next. I need to build out more steel. One of the things I'm considering doing is for all of the ore, for copper ore and iron ore, for all the trains that are going to get that ore, I might make a station that they go to first. So, like, all of the guys getting ore out here are all going to line up in this station that'll probably be right about here. And then it'll just have like a big stacker. And then when any of these things need ore, it'll just they'll just pop out to go get it. So that way we create a bit of a buffer um, for those trains. So this is I haven't actually implemented this idea. I'm just thinking this might be necessary. Um, so yeah, we'll we'll give that a try. So other things that I've done in the meantime, I got, let's see, where are they? Oh, I got RCUs up. Um, and then I've just been working on putting all these blocks of solar in here. Um, and I've built out the solar that is going down here. And I've just been adding different mining outposts. I'm struggling with steel right now, so I'm gonna add a couple more. I'm gonna fill out this bank of steel. So, yeah. Anyway, that's where I am in the meantime. Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, and we're back. Now let's do the base tour. As you can see, we're at the hub. And if I just start to zoom out here, you'll see just how big this base is. So down here is the starter base. It's right there. Up here is the intermediate base, and if you remember, it took, you know, maybe about a minute to run the length of this base just as the character. And then here are all of the different grid squares filled with all the different production items that are needed. And then there are the mining posts on the outside. I would say to run from this mining post in the Spidertron that I have with 3 exoskeletons, to run all the way across the base to over here, it would probably take about 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, right around there. So this base is huge. It's very large. I'm gonna just quick pull up my Google Doc here, my spreadsheet that has all of the numbers on it, and there are 27 copper plate factories, 18 iron plate, 18 steel, 17 green circuits, 6 red circuits, 8 blue circuits, 2 oil, 1 module, 1 battery, 4 stone brick, 14 rocket fuel, 8 low density structures, one sulfur, one uranium refinery, one sulfuric acid, 9 plastic, 4 rocket control units, one nuclear power plant. I think actually I have 2 nuclear power plants. One red science, one green science, 2 blue science, 2 purple science, 2 yellow science, 1 space science, and 2 military science. And you'll notice up top I have 7 laboratories, and they can each run about 1,600 science per minute. There are 60 labs in each lab factory, and their research speed is it's 23.45, and it's got a productivity of 20%. So that will give you an idea of what you'll need to do to build out a factory of your own. I'm not going to say that I have all of these in the most optimal places. This was at first glance what I thought would be the best way of doing it. Uh, One of the things I'll tell you that I should have done, there are a couple of these different areas that have water as an input, such as sulfur here and sulfuric acid. Before you just landfill in the interior of any of these grid squares, I would highly suggest you plan ahead and you place grid squares where there is water there that you would normally need to landfill. Just try to do offshore pumps in that grid square and get the water to uh, the different stations, because water was a huge bottleneck, and um, I'm trucking around. Let me look. There are 33 water trains. Oh no, yeah, 33 water trains. And let's see, there are 34 inputs. So if we could reduce that number as much as possible, that's just kind of sorted wasted UPS that these like train watering stations down here need to they need to fill and bring water to all these different areas. So here, plastic takes water. Um, Oil refineries take water, and then the sulfuric acid batteries, they all take water. So moving those to areas where on your map you have actual water would probably be a much better idea. I did not do that because I didn't realize how critical water would be until later on. Um, the other thing, I mentioned this earlier, if you have all of your mining for, let's say, copper, so all the copper is on this side and all the copper mining is over here, you can have a station where it brings in copper ore and then just goes and sits and waits in a stacker. And then as these different uh, factories need it, it can just dispatch the trains out. That's probably a good idea because that gets the trains coming in. They don't just line up and sit in the stackers for the factories, uh, which has been kind of a problem. But also, what it does is when the train is done, uh, if there's no space in one of these mining outposts, the train will just sit in the it will just sit like right here and wait until there's space in an outpost where there might be a train behind it that is full that it could go in here and deliver its payload. So if these trains are then asked to go and sit in a stacker until there's space in the mining outposts, that would help relieve uh, some of the bottlenecks that I've seen in the train system. Uh, Other than that, you can also, as I say, there's some severe UPS problems that happen once you start hitting, uh, once you start pushing towards that 10K science per minute. So what I have done here is I've put brakes in a couple of these. So that one has a brake. That might be the only one. That is the only one right now. Um, you can control how much science per minute happens by just turning off these science labs by putting in a little brake there, because it really does, the UPS goes down pretty far if you're running 10K science per minute. Um, so as I say, this whole setup wasn't optimized for UPS. It was optimized for ease and modularity. There are, I'm sure, by making different, like these stations for copper plate and iron plate, I'm sure those could have been made a lot bigger in such a way that would reduce the size of that entire rail network and probably be a little bit more UPS friendly. Okay, but that's generally it. I hope you all have enjoyed the series. My name is Hertz. Thank you all for picking up what I'm putting down, and we'll see you for the next series.